Alrighty, Chris Culver, tore his ACL and MCL. He's going to put him on IR. Trent Robinson, hamstring, he'll be out. DeShazer Everett, hamstring, he'll be questionable. Keenan Robinson, shoulder, he'll be questionable. And Breland missed today. He was sick. He'll be questionable. Everyone else is a problem.
With Chris, just how devastating an injury is that? And you guys have had to deal with these a few times now this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player for us. Obviously, you hate to lose good players, and unfortunately, it happened. It was just a fluke deal. He just went up for a ball, landed on it, and it tore. But these other guys are gonna have to step up, be ready to go. Dunbar, Everett, if he's able to go, Breland, and we'll go from there.
So, are you pretty confident on Breland that he'll be able to bounce back from this?
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully it's just a 24-hour bug or something like that. But he had a little fever and was sick. So, but you never know.
You had a healthy cornerback unit, I think, for 3 games this season. I mean, it seemed like once you guys were finally able to get healthy, these 2 injuries, and with Breland sick now, what's the situation there going into Sunday with the cornerback position? Yeah,
it's unfortunate. But Coach Fuel, he's been schooling these other guys up, and that's what pro football is all about. You hear it all the time, next man up, and that's the way it is. We're very sad for Chris. We're going to miss Chris quite a bit, but other guys are going to have to step up and play. We don't have any other choice. And these guys are ready. They've been eager and waiting for their opportunity to play, and they're going to get it. And we'll see how it goes. But we have some guys that are ready to step up and fill in. Dunbar's been playing a lot. Obviously, D. Hall's still on our football team. He's a veteran guy who can play. We still have Breland. So we're in good shape.
Are you thinking of going back to the same setup you had when Culver was out earlier with Kaishan playing in the slot, or do you want to leave him at safety more?
We had a couple options. We still have Blackman, too, who can play corner. So we have some versatility back there. If there is a saving grace with all the injuries that we've had to try to intermingle everybody in different spots so they all have a pretty good general knowledge of nickel, corner, safety. So I think we'll have it covered. Blackman can play nickel and he can play corner. Kaishan can play nickel and safety, and D. Hall can play corner and safety. So we have all the spots filled. Would you like to have better continuity with them being in one spot longer? But it is what it is, and I think the guys, like I said, Joe and Coach Fuel will have those guys schooled up wherever they are.
Jay, did you ever hear back from the league regarding the Culver hit on Olsen that resulted in the pick six?
No, I try not to look at it because if they say it wasn't a penalty, I'd get upset. And if they say it was a penalty, I'd get upset. So there's really no use in looking at it. So they got back to us. I think Bruce read it and probably Scott read it. I didn't read it.
What did you see from Trent Williams today, and where's your level of optimism?
Very high on Trent. Very high on Trent. He had a good day of practice yesterday in his limited work, and then today he got the majority of the snaps, and he looked good. So, like I said before, it's going to be it'd have to be a tough injury to keep him out of the game.
What have you seen from Jason Pierre-Paul? Obviously a tragic accident, this offseason, but he's come back and he's been effective. Maybe the numbers sacks-wise aren't what he might want, but he's had a lot of quarterback pressures and is still the same guy, it seems like.
Well, he's still big, he's still long, he's still a very good athlete. I don't exactly know the extent of the injury, but he looks the same to me, and he's very effective and somebody you have to deal with. He can line up on the right side or the left side, and he's an effective pass rusher. Morgan's had a good year. Trent's obviously had a good year, and they're going to have to be ready for his speed and athleticism off the edge.
Jay, we talked earlier in the week about the snap issues that you had. Will you stick with Josh this week, and what have you kind of done to address that during practice this week?
Well, we're going to stick with Josh. We just keep coaching him up, man, and keep practicing. And Josh is getting better, just like everybody else every day, and that's all we can do. And if it continues, I think Brian feels a lot more comfortable in the offense, but I have no problem sticking with Josh right now. Josh is battling some, nagging injuries here and there too, but he should be good to go, and we have faith in Josh.
Jay, how much do you revisit what went wrong last time against the Giants? The block punt, the slow start, as much as you look at what the Giants have done recently.
You look at how they played you, how the coaches coached against you and your scheme, obviously, and then you want to also see how they've adapted since you've played them and if they're doing anything different personnel-wise or scheme-wise. So we take all of it into account. And, they're a good football team, lost some close games, won some close games, but they have done things a little bit different from last time we played them. And but like they've also had some, like I said yesterday, cornerbacks have been out. Prince has been out, now he's back in at full strength, and Obviously, Cromartie's out there at full strength now. Those two together haven't played a lot together, so I don't know if that's going to change how they play more man-to-man, what their approach is going to be. So we'll have to wait and find out.
You can't. Results in the other division games went well on Thanksgiving. Both the other teams lost. How are you feeling? You know, it looks like a two-team race for the division here. How are you feeling going into Sunday and this stretch run here?
Well, it's a division game. It's New York Giants, and obviously they've beaten us the last 3 times, and we need to step up. We're not worried about the race right now, so to speak, as we're about playing our best football. And we're talking about playing the right fundamentals with the right attitude, the right intensity, and taking care of what we need to take care of, what we can control, and go from there.
A couple of the players have said that you, in practice this week, have been a little more intense and kind of edgy and demanding. Is that true? And if so, is that kind of calculated to ratchet up their level, or is it just where you find yourself at this point in the season?
I don't know. You know, I think it just depends on the day. You know, if sometimes they need a little more they need to be revved up a little more if I feel like practice is just going through the motions, so to speak. You know, that might have been the case yesterday. I don't know. I try not to make you try to have a consistent approach, really, as a coach. You know, you don't want to just be all tight one game because it's an important game. All the games are important. I try to have a consistent approach every week, but obviously we know this is a big game with a lot at stake. You know, and you guys will be ready. Yep.